don't worry.
Well, at least most of the time, right?
Understood.
You gotta give yourself an
I mean,
hour.
I keep saying again and again, it doesn't have to be the last meeting. It's always open to the public, even Sherman Township. Yeah, I don't know. No, I know. I don't mean it like that. I keep pulling her leg. Well, see that again? I don't know what you and Andrew. The agenda. Always does. See, I never see that.
Yeah, I mean, our passive.
Yeah.
One of my residents at this last meeting said he did not.
Okay, no, Linda told me to.
No, it wasn't you, it was like everybody.
Oh, okay.
But maybe more. I don't know. I said, you didn't hear me? He goes, no, and that's shocking.
That was shocking, I read.
Shush up.
It's funny, I haven't had any, but, well, I
Had
haven't
one
had,
day we just started talking
not since.
directly in front of my face, directly in front of
My minister wanted to know how it worked.
All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. If you would, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Miller, will you lead us in prayer tonight?
Yes, sir. Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for this beautiful city and its beautiful people. We thank you for what we're about to discuss. Help us to do it well and positively for the good of this community. We pray for what is to come, for budget items several years down the road. Help us to plan well, to do it under your guidance. And we do thank you for blessing us with the service of Holly Kaiser for so many years as our controller. Thank you for the talent and the skill she has brought to her job, and bless her and Keith as they venture into retirement. Thank you for the blessing of having her here for the years that we did. Bless tonight's proceedings, and we ask you to be over Sturgis and watch over us, guide us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Roll call, Mr. Rhodes.
Commissioner Mullins,
I am present.
Commissioner Boring,
Here.
Commissioner Wiki,
Here.
Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Harrington,
Here.
Commissioner Abs,
Here,
Commissioner Miller,
Here.
Vice Mayor Burr,
Here.
Mayor Perez.
Here. Moving on with the agenda, under proclamations and presentations, we have none. Okay. Next is the visitor section where the public can make comments for items not listed on the agenda. If you have something to state, please come forward to the podium, state your name and address, and you have 2 minutes.
Jamie Kreitz, 66181 North Lakeview.
Welcome.
Here today on behalf of myself and a few of the big landlords here in town. We have our inspections every 2 years, and it's gotten out of control, and we'd like to have it moved to every 4 years. Our tenants don't like people going in their houses all the time. We all have maintenance men. If something breaks, we take care of it. And we're all 98% or higher premier on every house we have. And for that matter, we would like it to go to 4 years instead of 2.
Okay. I do see another landlord in the attendance as well.
Yeah, we have Luke over here. Jose Lopez was supposed to make it today.
Okay.
My father still has a solid amount, and Richard Dudek as well. So
Okay.
we control the top, 3 or 4 big landlords in town, and we'd like it moved to 4 years.
Okay.
Any questions, call me anytime.
I think if the commission is interested in that, we can have a work session on that down the road. But-
That's something the commission's interested in.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Personally, I'd like to see it moved every 7 years, but That's just my opinion.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to come up to the visitors? State your name and address. You got 2 minutes.
Yes, I'm Teresa Below, ISD Superintendent.
Welcome.
432 Liberty Road here in Sturgis. I just wanted to give you a very quick 2-minute or less update on career technical education. And the purpose of this is because we promised transparency when the millage passed in 2019, and so we try to go around to different organizations and entities and share updates. So you have a document that talks about what the targets were back in 2019. And we did pass the millage in 2019, and then 2020 COVID hit. So it was an interesting first year that we had, but I want to just give you a few quick updates. So in fall of 2019, we had 10 CTE programs. The goal was to add 2 to 4 programs with a new millage. We are at 8 new programs with an anticipating a 9th next year. The reason we were able to do that is we really tried to be strategic. For example, one teacher teaches 2 pathways. Architecture and engineering, design, and manufacturing can be taught under the same teacher, but 2 different pathways for students. In fall of 2019, we had 15 students in work-based learning placements. We now are at 70 students this year in work-based learning placements. We were able to work with the U.S. Department of Labor and add our own apprentices. That was part of the paperwork challenge for our businesses. And so we found out the ISD could actually hold that liability and work in partnership with some of our manufacturing and other support groups. So it's been a great win-win, and we've placed a lot of students because of that. In fall of 2019, we proposed additional staff, partly for safety around things like welding and auto body. We needed assistant teachers. We did add assistant teachers. We also wanted to increase our career technical education training. We planned on 6 through 12. We found some great programming options for kindergarten through 12. So we are able to do that. If you look at the back, you'll see our new mobile career lab. Maybe you saw it at the fair. It takes some of these hands-on opportunities and takes them out to the middle schools twice a year. And we are able to switch out different activities so that we can give kids hands-on exposure to what's out there. We were able to add the number of students participating in some of those state and national conferences. For example, DECA, HOSA, we are seeing great success with our students. They're really becoming leaders, not only at the state level, but at a national level. And finally, I will tell you, I had a house fire a couple years ago, and my dad lost his roof in a tornado recently, the one that hit Colon, and we recognized the value of having folks in the trades that we just did not have. It was so hard to find people to be able to do that work. So we partner with Habitat for Humanity as part of our building trades program. It was beautiful to see students walk me through the open house of the Habitat home, and at the end, they were very proud, and it was exciting. At the end, we got to meet a woman who for the first time was going to have a bedroom for her boys. And I thought, what a beautiful marriage of things that our community needs, and being able to do that in partnership. And I hope I made my 2 minutes. I'm done talking. Thank you all for giving me time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
If you have any questions, you can always catch me with any questions, concerns, ideas at St. Joe County ISD. My number is 269-625-1234. That's my cell number. Anyone can call it, but do leave a message, because it ends in 1234. I really don't pick up. Thank you again.
Thank
Just
you.
like I do.
Any other visitor that'd like to make a public comment for items not listed on the agenda? Okay. Moving on with the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
So we have a motion
Support.
and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Next on the agenda is the approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
So we
Second.
have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Moving on to unfinished business, we have the recycling ordinance first reading. Mr. Andrew Cook.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Commissioners. So at the previous City Commission meeting, we discussed options, again, moving forward with provisions for curbside recycling. Based on that discussion, we had put together a draft ordinance. At that time, we refined that here for a first reading today. There are some changes in the draft ordinance from the one that was presented at the last City Commission meeting, so I want to briefly run through those for you. First and foremost, we did make a change to Chapter 2 of the City Code of Ordinances that was not previously part of what we had provided. The main change there was to actually provide a section that discussed the recycling fee and talk about how that would be charged. So after, kind of considering different options and ways with the unique part of recycling, we indicated that that would be charged to the titled owner of the property and then subject to subsection C above, which is the section that discusses the fact that if those fees aren't paid, they can be liened against the property. There is an exemption or exception in subsection D that talks about if the tenant's responsible for a particular public improvement that that wouldn't be liened against property, and we're indicating that wouldn't be the case. So it'd be charged in all cases to the property owner, and a lot of this goes to finding ways to equitably charge tenants if you have multi-tenant spaces, because we have the system where, for example, in a triplex or a quadplex, you have 4 people and they're getting a portion of a bin, not a full bin unto themselves. If you have to split that cost against tenants, that becomes a problem. If it's a tenant and they don't pay, we have no guarantee that we could eventually collect that fee. Obviously, that creates a budgetary hole for the city if there's uncollected fees that go along with that. So that's why the setup, as we have in that section, that was the change made for that particular part. Going down to what we provided last meeting in Chapter 42, the solid waste, again creating Article 2 for curbside recycling. We did change some of the definition for recycling unit. We had it previously talking about dwellings. We made that dwelling units, again trying to mimic the language that was in the rest of this section to make it very clear what we were talking about. Section 42-45, the participation requirements, we tweaked a little bit of the service area definition from what you saw previously. I think I mentioned at the last meeting, currently we don't cover recycling for second-story apartments kind of in the core central business district in a mixed-use building. So the apartments above Wings, et cetera, for example, and others, including Commissioner Boring's building, don't receive curbside recycling service. It's difficult because of the way trash service is handled there, access for the recycling company. So we haven't had recycling in those areas going forward. This just adds a little language clarifying that those would not be part of the program under this ordinance and this setup. Most of this language is maintained from what you saw previously. It was moved kind of in order. We did change the section on participation required, mostly semantics, just indicating that all properties served by the program as defined in this section, and that goes to the service area section. So basically those are the ones that the participation is required, are those that are served. And then we added a section here that provided the city commission the option, but not the option to in the future extend the program to groups that aren't otherwise covered in the ordinance. So for example, commercial properties, to those downtown buildings, things of those nature, you can extend that to them and then choose whether or not it's a requirement or just an option for those other types of properties. Going down in the penalties section, we changed a shall to may when it came to kind of the civil infraction and municipal fine. That spoke a little bit to Commissioner Smith's comment at the last meeting where he was concerned about would there be a fee no matter what if something were in violation of this. It provides a little bit more judgment to be made if a penalty would be assessed. a minor change. If you don't like that, we can always change it back. And then finally, in the expiration, just tweak the dates a little bit from what we had previously presented. I'm showing it now expiring on December 31st, 2026, so that would be in line with a one-year extension of the recycling contract as the commission discussed, unless prior to August 31st, the commission passed a resolution extending the program. That was meant to tie us a little bit more closely to the budget timeline, so we would have had a chance for budget discussions and then a chance to approve anything moving forward after that. Not necessarily critical if we go forward with the program as currently constructed, but if in the future commission were to choose to have, you know, and I'm thinking of a very far scenario where it's not a service-based, it's somehow handled by city staff, there would be, if there were budget concerns or budgetary considerations, that's more in line with that, so we don't have time gaps that would be introduced there. So following that first year, we would move it to expire on October 1st, again in line with the budget year instead of the calendar year. That makes just ending of contracts make a little bit more sense, and we would, if there was a desire by the commission in terms of the contracting out the service, we'd set up the bid such that ended in a fiscal year end instead of a calendar year end going forward. As we talked about at the last meeting, commission could extend the program if there was a multi-year approved contract out to the end of that multi-year contract. Happy to answer any questions on the ordinance.
I have a
Questions for
question.
Andrew?
I have a question.
Yes.
When it comes to penalties
Mm-hmm.
and enforcement,
Mm-hmm.
okay, what's an example of something that we would penalize somebody for? I wasn't, because it says.
So for example.
Says the provisions of the ordinance, but under collection of recycling, it says establish guidelines. So I was kind of lost, like, what would somebody get penalized for?
So, for example, if the guidelines, well, I'll use the
We
most
have-
extreme
there's
case.
both
The
words
most
in there.
extreme case.
Okay.
You know, the guidelines would be something that would be established after, and they're not specifically laid out here because
Okay.
we don't know what our contracted recycler may or may not allow us to collect
Okay.
or otherwise guide. But, for example, if somebody packed their recycling bin full of trash and it was sitting out there for an excessive amount of time, that would probably be a case in which we might choose to issue a penalty in
Or they're
order to
told
get them to
and
clean.
warned, and then they do it a second time.
Correct, yes,
For instance.
yes, correct.
So those,
Those would be the
The-
kinds of provisions.
the
that
kinds
we
of
would-
things that someone might be penalized for, well, actually, in this case, the property owner would be penalized, not necessarily the person utilizing the recycle bin.
The citation would go to
Who, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Since
Yeah.
the billing goes
Yeah.
to the property owner, who gets penalized
Yeah,
also?
It would be a discretion of the officer writing it. So if it's a site, if it's somebody there and they can determine who's doing it, they write the citation.
So it's who's doing,
It's like any violation. So a landlord right now, if somebody's being disorderly around their property, they're not writing the landlord the ticket for the
Okay,
civil
well-
disorderly. They're writing it to the person that's committing the violation.
mm-hmm,
So, and those fines are collected not via lien, but those are collected via the Civil Infraction Bureau or the court.
the fun, those would be.
Yeah. So it's separate than the.
So those
Section 2
details
that-
are to be established at a later date?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to dispute that a little bit.
Okay.
If somebody's got a junk car parked on their yard with no tires on it, and it's a rental, the ticket goes to the landlord,
They both get tickets. You know why?
so somebody will pay.
No. You can't remove something off property without a court order. And so you have to have a court order, and the only way to get court order jurisdiction over the property is to name the property owner. So that's different. It's a different scenario.
The property owner can have it removed even if
Absolutely,
it
you
isn't.
can. That's why they write the ticket to them, and if they contact the city and say, hey, we got this towed, those are waived. So just so you know, that's how it
Well,
works.
I know they'll get waived.
Yeah. The citations are to the property owner for the jurisdiction of enforcing the ordinance. Here, if they can establish who's doing it, they're not gonna write a ticket without knowing who's violating. They know who's violating, they write the ticket, and then if somebody disputes it, they have an informal hearing before the magistrate at the court.
Okay. I've never had one get that far.
Right. Most of the time, they don't.
So with this, can a landlord get a ticket
On this,
on this?
the landlord's violating the statute, the
Okay,
ordinance,
okay.
they can establish that the landlord's violating it, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Whoever's violating the ordinance.
Whoever violated, okay,
Yeah.
all right. Any other questions from the commission before I ask the public for feedback, comments? No? Okay, is there any comments from the public addressing recycling?
Jamie Kreitz, 66181 North Lakeview. Again, representing the landlords. I know you guys got 30, 50, 100 people, whatever, that have been calling you guys and wanting the recycling because they don't want to pay $20 more out of their pocket. So why not have everybody else pay a little bit? Well, we control 300 houses, so that ought to be 300 votes. We've got 300 different addresses. So we don't want it. If that ain't good enough, then let's not do multi-units, okay? Or most of the apartments have their own electricity, so put it on the light bill, then the tenant is paying the bill. But the tenants can't afford it. We're already paying, we're 0% homestead, so we're already paying 50% more than every other house in town. We're paying inspection fees, we're paying rental fees. We can't just keep passing that along to all the tenants. So I ask that we don't have recycling. If that fails, then I ask that the multi-units don't have it because we have dumpsters. I haven't used this program since year one because my tenants put trash in it. You're evicting them, they don't care, they ain't paying the bill. Now I gotta pick up a 30-gallon tote, haul it to a dumpster. It's no fun. Yeah, I can find a tenant, but you can't get blood out of a turnip. So we have dumpsters for most of our places. So our vote is no for the recycling, or at least for the multi-units. We shouldn't have to foot everybody else's bill. There's 30 people that really want it, I'll pay them 30 people. Vote it down. So
Question for you, hearing anything from your tenants?
yeah, the tenants can't, I mean, we're passing it, yeah, it's $8, right? We're paying 2 already, so $6, but $6 times 100 to every one of us, it adds up. So, you know, they can't afford it, you know. So they're not happy with it. They don't recycle. Most of them don't recycle as it is because I have dumpsters. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other person that wants to address the commission on the recycling? Okay,
I would just like to reiterate that I do think this is a bad idea, that I really don't like paying for somebody else to recycle or the trash if we ever decided to go that way. I shouldn't have to pay for my neighbors to do anything. They should be able to pay for their own. A solid, I'm guessing probably about a third of the housing that would be affected like this is the landlords. They are a small business. This is a lot to put on the small businesses like that. I just don't think this is a good idea. It should be, if people want to do it, they can circulate a petition and get it put on the ballot if there's enough interest. Everybody I've talked to about it either don't care or agree with me that they don't want to pay for their neighbors. That's all I got to say about the subject.
I know I've gotten more no's than yeses, but you know, I know my kids have asked me about it, because we in our household, we do recycle. Our can is always full, and I've told my kids I would want to pay for it myself instead of telling people that they have to pay for it. So that's where I stand on that.
But as we've talked about before, one of the things is, we're kind of in an all or nothing situation. Because last time we checked, there's only one company that wants to do it, and without enough then none of us would
But not
have it.
participate.
Yeah, nor would some of the people in the townships who are currently paying extra in order to get it, because they just wouldn't come over here. So that's where I'm kind of in between a rock and a hard place.
Borden has had a monopoly in Sturgis ever since that started. Nobody else could make any money doing it because nobody in town wanted to pay extra since they're already paying for Borden to do it. If you quit paying Borden to do it, somebody's gonna step up if there is demand for it.
You don't know that.
You don't know they're not. It's basic economics, capitalism, supply and demand. If there's enough people want that service, somebody will step up and provide it.
And the cost of everyone's garbage will increase significantly.
Again, capitalism, supply and demand.
As you know, I've kind of been full circle on this topic and put a lot of thought into it. I'm sure all of you have too. One of the things, you just brought it up, I had everyone, with the exception of Jim, has all wanted recycling. And I've probably had maybe a dozen. So, I mean, it's a dozen people, right? It's not 100. However, something interesting, a few of them have recycling from the private hauler here. And he made certain that they knew, shocked me, that if you don't have recycling, I can promise you, your garbage is going up. Not just because of the size of container, that's what I thought it was. No. If you have a large container and say part of the time it's half full, part of the time it's guaranteed it will be full. So they're going to pay more. Each one that has removal is going to pay more. It's a matter of, are they going to pay it to the garbage hauler or are they going to pay it for recycling? The other thing is, and Jamie, I take very seriously, I take every comment seriously. Regarding the multi-units, it's a lot. If we go to the 3-year, we'll be back to $6, right? Multi-units, say it's 4, you have 2. So basically, I mean, it's $4 a month more, so it'd be $8. If you divide it up by 4, it's basically $2 a month more for each one of your renters. And I like numbers. I just kind of go through that. And I don't know that you can pass that $2 a month. It may seem minimal.
Like I said, we have dumpsters. I spoke to
No.
Gary, so ours isn't going up.
But when we look at our households, most people don't have dumpsters. And you are in a unique, any of you that have met, you are in a unique situation. But I think it's important to look at it overall. I'm not fond of ordinances, but I think we're dealing with something totally different here. I really do. When you say paying for your neighbors, I'm not sure,
Yeah,
I know what you
understand
meant, Marv. I apologize. What do you mean paying for
I
some
mean-
neighbors?
I'm paying $8 a month on that, whether I use it or not. And if Frank's using it, if his would cost $20 to use it through a private company, my $8 is going to him. If I don't use the service, if I choose not to. So yeah, you're charging everybody, whether they use it or not. It's not like electricity where it's metered, You're charging everybody whether they want to use it or not. So the person next door can get a better price.
Which we're doing that now, but it's $2 versus either 6 or 8. I understand that. We're doing that now and have been for some time.
Yes.
I get that. And
I was against this the first time too.
Okay, fair enough. I know it isn't pertinent to right now, but I did forward, I think that it could be out sometime, forwarded to Andrew and Frank and Rick, that the state's probably somewhere along the line going to be pushing us and telling us you're going to have to do it anyway, but it's probably a ways off. There's definitely a push towards recycling. Michigan is one of the poorest ones in recycling in the United States. So I think there's going to be a push, but that's not here and now. I recognize it, but is it the right thing? Is recycling the right thing to do also? Is recycling, I had the guilt trip put on me when my boys were this size. I mean, it's not the right thing to do, recycle. So that's another question.
Is it the right thing to do? Okay, let's look at it this way. Part of the problem is the recyclers can't get rid of the plastic because there's too much recycling right now. Everybody's recycling and there's too much plastic in the market. they're not using the plastic that they're trying to recycle. You go out and you buy something, or you see something that's 100% recyclable plastic, not recycled plastic. Even my little mushroom containers that I get at the grocery store, they used to be number 7, number 8 peat, which means they were styrofoam because they've been recycled that many times. Now they're number 1 again, because I'm assuming the federal government probably says they have to be virgin. You can't have styrofoam touching food or some silly thing like that. I can't say that for certain, but it makes sense. So there's really not, should we? Some. All cardboard's been recycled many times from paper. All steel has been recycled many times from other steel. So, yeah, but it is, regardless.
I think where I'm at is we do the 1 year and put out a survey to the city and hear back.
Right, but if
Here,
we,
and that way, because if we vote it down now, there's a very big chance that we can't get it back because they're leaving town.
Andrew, correct me if I'm wrong, we're not voting, we're just listening to the first reading.
Yeah.
Correct.
yeah.
Right. This is, but I'm just saying in
But you do
general.
have to, you
Okay.
have to actually approve
Yeah.
and hear the first
Right.
reading.
Right.
And it's whether we do 1 year or 3 years, right? We've talked about the
No, not
possibility.
yet.
Not
No, we're just.
No, not
this
yet.
is, all this is the
Just
ordinance
the
that establishes your ability to do it.
When did you need to know, Andrew, by what date or reading did you need to know
I think
the
at
direction?
I think at the second reading was what I
Practically.
was hoping for, direction, so that we could start the process. If it was approved, we could start the process of.
So you need approval of this first reading?
The process is, yes, you have to, the commission has to vote to approve the first reading, comes back for a second reading. It becomes effective 20 days following the second reading.
Correct.
So even if it passes at the second reading, there can't be anything acted on until 20 days later. So, but the commission does have to vote tonight, yes or no, on this draft.
Okay, so if there's no more public comments, no more comments from the commission, I think it's best we have a roll call with city clerk for this.
I'll make the motion, Mr. Mayor,
Okay.
that we move that the Sturgis City Commission consider this the first reading of an amendment to the city's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Administration, Section 2-302, Collection of Charges for City Services, and Chapter 42, Solid Waste, creating Article 2, Curbside Recycling, Sections 42 through 51, 42-51 through 42-58 is presented.
So we have a motion
Support.
and support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
You get that, Ken?
Just you two? That's it? Okay,
Here.
then I think we got it.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Moving on with the agenda into new business, the Main Street Sidewalk Repair Assessment District Public Hearing. Mr. Barry Cox. Welcome, Barry.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Commissioners. We're going to open up a public hearing for Main Street Sidewalk Repair Assessment District. So this district was initiated to repair sidewalks in conjunction with the Main Street project that was completed in 2024. Those sidewalks have been repaired, costs have been identified within the district that was established on April 10th of 2024 at the City Commission meeting. The proposed final sidewalk repair assessment roll is included in your packet with a final cost of $9.09 per square foot. There's also a summary page in the packet identifying the estimated amounts. Had a couple of highlighted ones here. There's a couple of zeroed out locations, 506 North Nottawa Street, 213 East Main Street, neither of which, both of them had a single square of sidewalk that was initially indicated to be repaired, and those squares were not repaired and deemed not to need repair after the initial preliminary assessment. There are a couple that increased. One in particular, it was at 203 West Main Street. Mr. Barrett, we had a conversation on site about a piece of square sidewalk that was the service walk from his house, that he was already doing a lot of sidewalk at that particular point in time, and he wanted to have that be done, and basically explained to him we could do it, but it would be at 100% his cost. So that's why that number exists there. The remaining 5 that are, or 4 that are highlighted were areas where we ended up with a slight increase in the overall cost from the original preliminary estimated cost. And historically, we have not gone beyond that cost that was originally sent to property owners. So we held it at the original estimated cost, which that difference ends up being a cost to the city to a total of $331.84. So with that, do what you got to do, Mayor.
All right, any questions for Barry? No? Any questions from the public? Okay, if there's none, we'll close the public hearing. What's the wish of the commission?
Mr. Mayor, I move that the Sturgis City Commission approve the special assessment roll number 2024-02 as presented.
Do you have a motion?
Support.
And support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
And Mr. Mayor, I move that the Sturgis City Commission approve that the city clerk to spread special assessment roll number 2024-02 costs evenly over 5 years with an interest rate of 5% charged on the remaining balance on an annual basis.
Do you have a motion?
Support.
And support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you, Barry. Next on the agenda is the Main Street New Sidewalk Assessment, District Public Hearing. Mr. Barry Cox, and we'll go ahead and open the public hearing.
All right, thank you, Mayor. This particular district was also along Main Street, but it was only on West Main Street where we had no existing sidewalks along the south side of the road from Nottawa to North Clay. This particular special assessment district was established on March 11th, 2024 by the City Commission. Sidewalk and this particular new sidewalk also include a shared use path along the Sturgis Park area. The proposed final assessment roll is included in your packet with a final cost of $6.05 per square foot. All property owners that were within the district were notified of these updated costs in advance of this meeting tonight. And the cost for all the projects, or all the properties, final cost was actually below the estimated cost. There is one there, it's a little unusual, and that's the portion that is the shared use path actually increased. And that's based on the fact that apparently the paved HMA portion, which is the shared use path, the original estimated cost is substantially lower than what the concrete sidewalk portion would have been. So because it's a roll that encompasses all the properties, and so that all the properties share equally in the cost, that one ended up being significantly higher because it incurred costs for the sidewalk that was actually more expensive than what the asphalt was.
Okay. Any questions for Barry from the commission?
Mr.
Not-
Mayor,
If not, any questions from the public?
oops,
Yeah,
forgot.
we had that public.
Okay.
I was just going to point out that the engineering department gave me the City of Sturgis related one, so if you guys have any issues with that, I'm happy to pass those along.
So no questions from the public, no questions from the commission? We'll go ahead and close the public hearing.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the Sturgis City Commission approve the special assessment roll 2024-01 as presented.
So we have a motion
Support.
and support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the Sturgis City Commission approve the city clerk to spread special assessment roll 2024-01 cost evenly over 5 years with an interest rate of 5% charged on the remaining balance on an annual basis.
So we have a motion
Support.
and support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you, Barry. Next on the agenda is the White Street Industrial Development District public hearing. Mr. Ken Rhodes will go ahead and open the public hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For those of you that aren't familiar, but you probably are because we've done this for years, when our industrial businesses decide to expand, they have the option to apply for an industrial facilities exemption certificate, which in essence cuts their taxes for a period of 12 years in half. Prior to being able to apply for that certificate, there has to be a district established. So I would say all of our industrial parks have that designation as an industrial development district. In this case, we recently moved in the area on White Street. I'm going to try to bring this over so that you can see it. South of where Metalloid is. And so what we have attempted to do here is to include this area down to this parcel that was just brought in here and go all the way up to where Graphic Packaging has their parking lot. So if Metalloid ever decides to expand their building, if Graphic Packaging decides to expand their building, this is not a step we will have to take to create the district. So this district will exist for about this rectangle here. So that's what we're talking about right now. And again, there is always discussion about companies expanding. So we have concepts of that. It's not required, but we need to just know that that is going to happen. So happy to answer any question. And no construction can begin without the establishment of a district. So.
Okay. Any questions from the commission for Mr. Rhodes?
Ken, can you show one more time, where does it start to the south? Or where does it end?
So this was the property, what was the address, Barry?
669.
Yeah, so they bought this property. So this property, this one, Metalloid already has gotten an IFEC, but it really covers just their portion. So this kind of overlays the district to go from here all the way up to South Street.
But not to any further south than the building that Metalloid has?
This is we cannot create a district, not in our jurisdiction.
Oh, that's the township down there?
That's the township right here.
So there's only the one building left?
Correct,
Okay.
Okay.
correct.
And this is just if they decide to do something in the future, they haven't done it already, decided yet? I mean, there's not.
There's nothing requiring them to expand, but again,
They're not planning on it?
I'm sure there's discussions
There's discussion.
about it, but, you know.
There's discussion, there's no building plans, they haven't
Because
applied
they're
for anything.
lovely
yet.
buildings.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
But this, you can't, they cannot put a shovel in the ground before a district is created. So this gives them the opportunity to do it.
This is the parcel the commission last
Yeah.
meeting,
Last
Mr. Cox
meeting,
brought
yeah.
forward that transferred under the 425 agreement from the jurisdiction of the township into the city for the purpose of potential expansion by them.
At least from the exterior, those buildings could stand some rehab. I mean, I go down that way and come around to go into Myers, you know.
I
kind
can
of thing.
say,
Yeah.
3 of them need completely demolished.
Yeah, well, that,
which they would be.
I was trying to be nice.
All right, if there's no more further public, or comments from the commission, any public comments from those attending tonight? Nope, I see none. So we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. What's the wish of the commission?
Mr. Mayor, I move that the Sturgis City Commission adopt the resolution for creation of an industrial development district on White Street as presented.
So we have a motion
Support.
and support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you, Mr. Rhodes. Next on the agenda is the digger truck amended cost. Mr. Chris MacArthur. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. At the May 14th Commission meeting, the purchase of the large digger derrick from Altech was approved, and the amount not to exceed $450,000. On September 4th, staff, including myself, met with Altech to go over any necessary modifications that needed to be made to the truck. In detail, the modifications did increase the original price to $452,128, which is $2,128 more than the not to exceed price. That truck's expected delivery date is still the second quarter of 2026. I did include a copy of the revised pricing, including the modifications in your packet. So we're recommending approval for a not-to-exceed amount of $460,000 in case the tariffs increase again before that chassis gets here. There were some parts removed, as you can see detailed, and some of those removed parts were added with different, I'll say different equipment. The one thing that drove the price up more than the rest was the front axle. We had to update that because this particular digger truck has a front winch on it. That put it over the specifications for Michigan roads. So we had to increase that because of the gross vehicle weight. So with that, that's one of the main ones there. So and that's all I have.
Okay.
Questions?
Any questions for Chris?
I will note the small bucket that was ordered at the same time. We checked on those prices, and those are fine as of this point. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay, any questions for Chris?
If the tariffs go down, are they gonna lower the price?
Sure. Yeah.
You know the answer to that one, Bob.
Chris has
I'll
a
try
crystal
my
ball.
best. How's
If you
that?
have a crystal ball, I want access.
Oh my.
At some
Yeah,
point.
me too. Yeah. We'd all. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the Sturgis City Commission approve an amendment to the approved purchase price of a DH-50E digger derrick truck from Altech in the amount not to exceed $460,000 as presented.
So we have a motion
Support.
and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you,
Thank you.
Chris. Next on the agenda is the mobile column lifts. Mr. Tom Sikorsky. Welcome, Tom.
Mayor, Commissioners, evening. Included in your packet tonight is the purchase of the mobile column lifts. So, they're essential for the fleet services, especially with electric department getting new equipment. We got to be able to service those. So, the current models have left us hanging. So, staff has literally left vehicles hanging in the air, troubleshooting. So included in your packet is a proposal from Gray Manufacturing for the replacement mobile column lifts in the amount of $62,164.80. So these lifts will enable staff to lift every piece of equipment that we have in our fleet except for a couple fire apparatuses. So they're wireless, so they'll be able to sync up and communicate with each other without having wires running around on the floor. There's accessories, so the cross beam and the snowplow adapter that allows for us to pick up everything from our three-wheel tricycle sweeper to snowplows leaving the wings. So the snowplow adapter is designed so that we can pull a truck in without having to drop a wing. So that'll save us time during winter ops. Gray is a Sourcewell provider, so staff had originally allocated $60,000 in fiscal year 25-26 budget. And as proposed, the equipment will be over budget by $2,164.80. And we intend to list the current column lifts at public auction with a minimum reserve of $4,000. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Tom?
Yes. Do these come with any kind of a warranty?
It's, yeah. There's a warranty. It's like a 3-year warranty.
You said the other ones are still certifiable, but they are unreliable.
Yep. They're good for small garages and small equipment. Our equipment is getting so large, and the electronics of the way we connect and the way they sync up, you literally pull a cord and connect all 4 columns together. And there was 3 times last winter we had trucks in the air and couldn't get them down.
Wow.
So was the biggest driving to get this in capital replacement.
And how long have we had the current roofs? I thought we just,
We didn't just. They've been on the capital, they've been on the list, and they've been kicked for before I moved up there. So 3 years ago, when the mechanic and myself went down to the truck show, that's when we started looking at the newer versions of these mobile columns. And back when we were budgeting our original, that's why 60,000 was the budget, and we were under budget back 9 months ago. But because of the economy and tariffs, this is our new cost.
thank you.
Question for Sadie and Holly. We have to adjust the budget for the 2164. Okay, all right. Kind of figured so, because it's not, you guys didn't state it, but figured I'd ask. Any other questions? No?
I do have one comment I'd like to make to both Tom and Chris. If you buy American, you don't pay tariffs. That might too.
They sell these in America.
Thanks, Mark.
We try our best to do BABA.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the Sturgis City Commission approve the purchase of the Gray Wireless Mobile Column Lift System from Gray Manufacturing Company, Inc. in the amount of $62,164.80, and authorize Director of Public Services, Tom Sikorsky, to execute all necessary procurement documents.
So we have a motion
Support.
and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks.
Next on the agenda is the stop-loss coverage. Ms. Sadie Griffin.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Commission. Each year, we work with Make Vance to review our health insurance policies, go over current policies, coverages, and stop losses included in that. Currently, the city has a stop loss of $65,000. That's per claimant, and that includes both medical and prescription drug coverage. So last year, the city changed to include prescription drugs in the stop loss coverage, and that was due to rising costs of prescriptions and just the nature of where prescription drugs were going. So it was a risk management strategy there. During our annual review, Make Vance provided the new annual premium rates for our stop loss coverage, which included both medical and prescription drugs. And that came to a 35% increase over prior year. So that made us, look at our alternative options of either continuing with our current coverage or potentially moving our coverage upward. So with that review, we looked at what our stop loss coverage premiums would look like at $100,000. That would save us roughly $300 and almost $50,000 a year in premium coverage. However, with that, we assume some risk, right? So instead of stop loss coverage, so insurance kicking in at $65,000 per claimant, it's now going to kick in at $100,000. So we are taking on a $35,000 risk per claimant. Based on historical claims and review, we think we'd ultimately potentially still save money by moving to $100,000. But again, you know, we're not predictors of the future, so we're just basing this on historical claims and what has come in. So again, there is potential to save money, break even, or, you know, lose, just depending on where claims come in. And this would be for calendar year 2026. So we're moving to increase our stop loss coverage to 100,000. In your packet, there was some analysis done to look at those different coverage levels, what the cost saving would be, but also, you know, netting against that additional potential liability.
Okay.
Any questions?
Any
And
questions
this
for
strictly
Sadie?
puts us in just for 1 year.
Just for
So
1 year.
if something really strange happened, and I saw, you know, how your numbers were, you would need to double claims over 100 before, that, based historically,
Yeah.
before we would be not money ahead to do it.
Correct. Maquin Vance did say that if we move up to 100,000, we can't go back to 65. We'd have to go in smaller increments down. So we could go, I think, $10,000
We talk like
down.
90,000 or 95,000 at a
So-
time, yeah.
Right. So we couldn't go to 100, go back to 65, but we could still inch our way back down if something happened. But 2024 was a, you know, pretty bad year in terms of claims for us, and we still would have been ahead.
Still see.
Yeah.
And so far, 2025,
Has it been a really good year? It's been a really
Time
good
will
year
tell,
for
right?
us,
Time will
but, you know, as we're ending the calendar year, we could start to hit those max.
Part
Okay.
of the difficulty with this analysis is they only have projection data through a portion of the year of the
Right.
previous past year, so it
Right.
makes it harder to kind of look at the true experience. But yeah, this was definitely something that we wanted to take a hard look at when we got that increase in cost. Make sure we're keeping an eye on those things. So thank you to Sadie and Holly for your work on analyzing that, and Maquin Vance for that matter. Answering our questions and doing those types of things. Just so for some of the newer commissioners, so you kind of understand, we are self-insured for insurance, so that's why we have the stop loss coverage. So basically, we're paying, as Sadie said, we're paying all the way up to this amount. We don't have other coverage that kicks in. I guess the last important point to make is that this doesn't change employee coverage at all by doing this. This is purely a risk management strategy on our part with the stop loss. So it's about risk management for us more than it is anything, and the number at which we're willing to lock in expenses versus take the risk that we pay out on self-insured.
Any questions from the commission?
Yeah, this stop loss coverage is from January 1 to December 30?
That's
Correct.
Is there any advantage to having it fit our fiscal budget at all? I mean, there's nothing.
I don't know. I don't believe we can. Yeah.
I don't think
believe we
it-
can.
I don't think you can, because it's
No,
all
it's got to go based
open
on
enrollment,
calendar year.
calendar year.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
insurance.
Trust me,
fees.
I would rather, if I could sync it up better with the budget process in the fiscal year, it would make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier, that's for sure.
I do want to make a comment. I know some of us on the commission are, speak vocally about cost savings, and Andrew, what are you doing? What are you and your team doing? This is just an example, folks, so that, keep that in mind when, that Andrew and his team, city staff, they are looking at reducing costs, and I know I'm the biggest critic of, wow, we got to save money, but 300 grand, like Sadie said, is 300 grand, so nice job to Andrew and his team. That's a good catch.
Potential.
Yeah. What's the wish of the commission?
Mr. Mayor, I move that the Sturgis City Commission approve changing the stop loss coverage to $100,000 as presented.
Do you have a motion?
Support.
And support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you. Next on the agenda is the election worker pay. Mr. Kinrose.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As I said in the manager's report, our election workers, election inspectors, they do a fabulous job, and they pretty much, they know they get paid. I think they enjoy getting paid. However, they're not doing it for the pay. So, but we're required to pay them, so we do. And in addition, if we're required to pay them, we've got to be within the law. And so their current rate is now falling below what the new minimum wage is. So we last did this in 2020, so just 5 years ago. However, the time that we raised it before then was 1999. So they haven't gotten big jumps too often. So in your packet, what I'm recommending in order to be in compliance, both this upcoming November election and then the 2 elections we'll certainly have next year. If we raise them to $14 an hour for the typical inspector and then $1.50 more an hour for the chairpersons, then that'll be in compliance through 2026. They'll have to get another bump of at least $1 for the following year. And this is the rate at which the state, $14 an hour is the rate that the state pays the folks that do the early voting, which we won't have in this current thing. So any questions, happy to answer them.
Any questions for Kent?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
just one, why not just rate it up as inspectors will be paid minimum wage set by the state and the chair people minimum wage plus $1.50? That way you're set in perpetuity?
Well, again, the 14 I'm suggesting is slightly higher than minimum wage, and there is, again, we've got a great crew of folks that come back year after year. There are those that are considering paying even more to entice inspectors to come and work. I've been lucky enough to do that. That could happen one day, so I wouldn't want to be at minimum wage necessarily. I understand what you're saying, and we could tailor it that it's $1.50 more than whatever minimum wage is. I don't think that's a problem, but I would want to be slightly above minimum wage.
Are we allowed to pass something that's linked?
I don't know.
Minimum wage?
DJ?
I would have to look into that particular issue. I mean, we link it to other forms of state set, such as judgment interest plus and other areas. I don't think there would be a prohibition, shoot from the hip, that you're going to comply with state law and pay a minimum wage. I mean, there's nothing inappropriate about that. But that's a commission.
The only thing I would say is, again, if we ever get into a situation where we're having trouble getting election workers because Sturgis Township's paying them $28 an hour or something like that, then I guess I would be coming to the commission and saying, hey, we're losing workers because they're not competitive. So I understand what you're saying. I guess I would given that we've raised them twice in 25 years, it's not like I got to come to the commission a lot recommending this. So
I will comment, having done elections in Burr Oak, early voting, and Fawn River Township, and having talked with some of the people when I vote here, it's the benefits that keep them coming back. The additional benefits of the lunch and the dinner and the snacks, because that's not what I got at any of those other places.
Back when we had food at the auditorium, those 7:30 hot cookies were really good. So in our current iteration, they're still getting cookies, but they're not necessarily coming hot out of the oven. So we'll have to throw them in the microwave. But yeah, we do feed them, and it's been a nice fair. We take care of them because they take care of us.
Yeah.
Well, Ken, I think that you're not losing them, you're not having issues filling those spots. I think it's a reflection of your 23 years, 24 years?
24.
24, so.
What about 24?
Yeah, it'll be 24 in
January.
2 months, yeah.
Yeah. Any questions for Ken?
Yeah, just one. Maxwell did a story, just came out today in the Watershed Voice about Three Rivers just passing theirs the other night. And they pay theirs by the day and not by the hour. Yeah,
they do half day and full day, and we have occasionally people do a half day, but Harlan Blood is I don't know. Harlan Blood's a lot older than all of us are, and he's still going at night, and it's an amazing thing. So they're tired at night, so we haven't had a lot of half day. I think by the hour, and it also allows if somebody's got to do a half day, I don't have to worry about it. Sometimes some need to be trained because they haven't been trained yet that cycle, and so I throw a couple hours of training on there. So I like the hourly. It just works out.
How many hours typically do they work?
So the polls themselves are open for 13 hours, okay? So they're going to work 15 hours for sure, okay? On a big election, having some issues, they may work an 18-hour day. I mean, it's
Yeah,
a
if
heck
you're
of a
lucky
thing.
enough to go to Centerville,
Yeah,
it makes for a long day.
yeah, it does.
Not to say that I don't appreciate, what we're doing here, but I'm just doing the math, and it appears that $300 for a full day over there equates to about, divided by the $14 an hour that we would pay.
Yeah.
It'd equate to about 21 hours of work to get that amount.
Yeah, no, we're saving a little bit.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, no, we are. And again, I guess if they're comfortable, and again, not one election worker in 24 years and said, hey, I need some more money. But if you work a longer day, isn't it a little nicer to get a couple extra bucks?
Sure.
And again, if you want to give them $300 flat, you can. But we're saving it, and frankly, given the number of elections, the number of election workers, we're not talking a big hit on the budget, regardless. So it's just what's fair and equitable. I like doing the hourly. It's just me.
I just like being ahead of them on the scoreboard and everything.
And I hear you, but I'll tell you, like I said, are they giving them cookies at 7:30? Bet not.
I doubt it.
Yeah. So.
And
And
they don't
it's
get to
probably a
hang
rough
out with
pull
you.
trying to get people to
Yeah.
work
And not saying that. I was talking to Leslie Wilson the other day at a clerk's meeting. She's great. And our current coordinators for the county are Melissa Bliss and Teresa Ives, who were formerly at Three Rivers. So, I'm going to keep them real happy if I
You're a
can.
good man.
Any other comments for Mr. Rhodes?
Mr. Mayor, I move that the Sturgis City Commission approve election inspector pay rate of $14 per hour and $15.50 for chairpersons.
So we have a motion?
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you, Ken. All right, next on the agenda is Commissioner and staff comments. We'll start with Ms. Holly Kaiser.
You start with me? Okay.
Big speech.
Hey, don't cry. Don't cry.
I won't. I got my Kleenex ready. First off, I want to say happy birthday to my daughter, 'cause today's her 34-year-old birthday.
Happy birthday.
I just want to say I'm happy to be part of this community. And I'm really looking forward to the next phase of my life. I'm looking forward to spending time with my mom and aunts and uncles and cousins in Florida, spending more time there, watching my husband play softball, going back in time. I'm really proud of the work that we've done, that the commission has done in the time I've been here with OPEB and pension and really putting the city in a good place. There's always more things to do, and you're in really good hands with Sadie, and it's a perfect time for her to come on board. So I never thought in a million years I'd be in the same place for 17 years. That is it's really something for me. But I really enjoy working with all of you and working with the staff here, and I'm looking forward to spending more time with my 4 grandchildren. So thank you all, and thank you for those prayers. That was really nice. So that's it.
Thank you. Anything from Mr. Kaiser? Would you like to add to that, or? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
If I knew he was in the building, I would have changed my speech. I didn't even know he's back there.
Keith, this will be officially
His
recorded,
first
so.
ever commission
At least you
meeting?
know he's not getting out of me.
Welcome tonight, sir.
Well, thank you.
State your name and address.
No, you don't gotta do that.
I just, I have to say that we're going to be thankful to have her home. And I certainly don't want to scare Sadie off, but, there are many a nights that Holly, she was here day, night, and even on the weekends. And she always managed to get her laptop on the airplane she was only supposed to have one bag, and she would stuff it underneath her coat. And I'd ask her, like, why are you taking that? And it was just in case something happened at the city, you know, while we were on vacation, and, you know, she wanted to be sure that she'd get up early in the morning and check things while we were sleeping. And so I'm proud of the dedication she's shown. I've had to remind her on more than one occasion that this was my town. I grew up here. I graduated from here. She's from Kalamazoo. And anytime I had a concern with anything going on at the city, I could never say anything negative. She defended the city and all the departments and all the people all the time. And the kids and the grandkids, you know, I've been retired since January, and I've been able to do some things, babysit my grandkids, and, you know, it'd be nice to have Holly and along with me. And you know, I'm just really proud of what she's done. Very dedicated, and I guess that's it. And just so you know, I love you and I appreciate you and everything you've done here.
Thanks.
So,
Well said, Keith. Well said.
thank you.
Wow, how can you top that, Sadie?
Can't. But I do want to thank Holly. She's been great at teaching me and being really a mentor through this process. So thank you, Holly.
Mr. Rhodes?
As a reminder, we've got an election coming up on the 4th, and then our next meeting, which Holly will not be going to, because she better be taking her husband out to dinner for his birthday. So November 10th is our organizational meeting, 8 p.m. right here. And we'll have another meeting on the 12th. But please don't forget to have a nice little organizational meeting. Hopefully it doesn't take too long, but you know, we'll see. And then I think I'll save my Holly comments. We've been working pretty closely together for a couple, 2-3 years. So she's not gone yet. We've got probably a decent amount of work to get done over the next week and a half. So that's it.
Anything from Chris? Mr. Cox?
Yeah. Good luck. Thanks for all the years. And it's unfortunate that this is a person that probably stays here, is in the building longer than I am. So that's going to be on. So that's the problem.
Can you throw Andrew in that mix? No, just joking. Who's here? No. Mr. Sikorsky?
One thing, thank you, Holly, for the last 17 years.
It's been fun.
It's been a pleasure.
Officer Crates? I think there's somebody else back there I can't see. Okay. Anything from the press? TJ?
From our office, thanks, Holly. Congratulations and good luck in retirement.
Andrew?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Commissioners. Of course, big thank you to Holly. We came in almost at exactly the same time, within like I think a week of each other, maybe. So
That's a good HR manager.
it's gonna feel, yeah, he really did his work well. He really did his work well. But yeah, it's gonna be weird being at the city without Holly being at the city. I'll say that. Obviously we'll have a lot more comments because we're gonna be doing an open house for Holly, October 31st from 2 to 4, here in this building, in this room. So please stop by for some cookies and cake and say goodbye to Holly, and much like me, thank her for her service and all the very many things she's done over the years. On a similar note, you may have seen a poster as you were walking in. Andy Strudwick's open house is also scheduled. He'll be retiring middle of November, so that's November 21st. Coming up, and I wanted to mention, so Andy Kiss is going to be taking over the deputy director role there on that side of things, and he started his transition over this week. So making that transition similar to how Holly and Sadie transitioned. So good to see that moving forward. Wanted to pass this around. This was Operation Greenlight for veterans. put together just a resolution. This was something the mayor kind of brought to me after the agenda had gone out on Friday. I took a look. It's something that was started kind of through the National League of Counties. I might have the organization name slightly wrong there, but and I know St. Joseph County is involved, and I believe that's how you first became aware of it. Is
Yes,
that correct, Mr.
yes.
Mayor? So, looking at it, Frank said, "Is this something that we could consider here in Sturgis?" And I said, "Well, let me take a quick look." And obviously, there's nothing that prohibits cities from participating, even though it's kind of a county thing. So I tailored this resolution. It was one that the counties put together, but I tailored it for us and the cities. And really, what it amounts to is we would light up City Hall or in perhaps some other buildings and areas throughout the town with green lights from November 4th through the 11th in honor of our veterans. So I don't know if you want to have any other questions, Mr. Mayor.
Our downtown lights, they got different colors. Is
that's
green one of them?
They do, and green is one of them. So that's something kind of DDA manages. I know that we've had some other requests for like lighting for causes, and I know that can often get, you get one and then you get many others, and then all of a sudden it becomes a bit of a management task. I think with this one, it was something that I was going to at least approach the DDA about whether they would be willing to consider making a change for this one. So, but I know that's something that still trying to work through from a cost standpoint. But I think at a bare minimum, lighting up City Hall and some of the windows facing Nottawa, potentially the auditorium, and maybe even the little food truck area there that's lit up with the mural. We could potentially change light bulbs out there and kind of at least have a part of town lit up in honor of this. So, if you're so inclined and you would like to adopt this resolution, that would be, I imagine a motion would be okay for that.
So you want a motion?
I would. Yeah, adopting the resolution.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution for Operation Greenlight for Veterans 2025.
So we have a motion.
Support.
And support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. I just want to credit Commissioner Louis Rosado. He's the one that sent me the email. And with my travels, I didn't get it soon enough to Andrew for the agenda. So thank you for doing this. This means a lot.
Oh, sure.
For our veterans.
Yeah, no, I know Commissioner Rosado was passionate about it because I got hit up by Dave Northrup last night at an event I was at, and he said, Commissioner Rosado said you should do this Operation Greenlight thing. I'm like, yep, we got it. We're taking it. So, but no, I think it's a good thing. Along those lines, another good thing and something for us to kind of remember, and I want to make Commission aware of. So National First Responders Day is coming up on October 28th. So that's something to kind of remember. Obviously, police, fire, EMS, kind of our natural first thoughts with first responders, but another group that is first responders is our public services, and I would even lump in our electric department and utilities in that too, because they're out responding to crisis as well. So that's something to keep in mind and be thankful. We have a very good team and a very good host of first responders here in the community. So I wanted to make sure you were aware of that day and that recognition. So, and then finally, the event I was at was the DASIS Candlelight Vigil. That's the Domestic Sexual Abuse Services Candlelight Vigil that was held at Sturgis High School last night. I was asked to attend. That was a very powerful presentation. Heard some testimonials and stories about that, and it's one of those hidden things in our community that impacts more people than you might think. To be able to be there and honor those that have lost their lives to that was pretty powerful. So I wanted to mention that in the commission as well. So, but that's all I have this evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Smith?
tomorrow is National Event Organizers Day. So I'd just like to give a shout out to the DDA and all the hard work they do organizing all the downtown events and all that good stuff. That's it.
Thank you. Commissioner Miller?
I'd like to organize an event for that, but I don't want to do it today. I want to wait till tomorrow. Keith hit the nail on the head with a sledgehammer. Well said, Keith. And thank you, Holly, for your dedication. Such was her dedication that today in Kiwanis, when she gave a happy dollar for being happy about retirement, which you're completely allowed to do, she followed it up with an apology to me that she didn't mean anything by it. And I said, you're allowed to be happy about retirement. Congratulations.
Commissioner Mullins?
Thank you, Hal, for all you've done. Hitting on the rental inspection thing that Mr. Kreitz brought up earlier, he had called several of us, I think, ahead of time, so we were aware that he was going to say this. And before we get, I know we're going to have a time to talk about it, but before going in, maybe something to think about, to chew on for staff when they're thinking about what to present. I see value in what he's saying for sure, because I too was a landlord at one time, and it was kind of, only one, it was kind of a pain every 2 years after being premier every year to have to do it still every 2 years. He had mentioned maybe taking it to, say, a 4-year period. I might suggest looking at it as a, what have they done in the past? If they've been premier for a total of, say, 4 years, then maybe they earn the right to not have inspections as frequently. So maybe think of it that way, and maybe instead of 4 years, we do 3 years or whatever. I mean, but I don't believe that the way to do it is just on day one say, okay, anybody that's premier now is only 4 years. We could retroactively look at their record and see if they have been, but I suggest that we have a window of time that they've proven themselves before we do that. And I do understand that our building department has brought in a lot of money over the last few years in different things, and I don't think this, we should look at this as a moneymaker necessarily, but as a reward for good landlords
Good inspections.
To somehow earn
Incentivize.
additional time. Incentives,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So that's just my 2 cents worth on that, just to think about when we're talking about bringing it back to us. Just my opinion.
I was gonna say that too, Jeff, so well said.
Okay. Other than that, something funny, I don't think anybody really cares, but I am 53 years old, and I just went in for a colonoscopy yesterday. And boy, was that fun. Any which way, I am perfectly clear, no polyps, no anything, and I've got 10 years before my next one, thank God. So back to serious stuff.
That first one
You-
is.
I was thinking, where are you gonna go with this?
No, I
mean, where you, I was expecting to be
just
kind
happy,
or
I'm so
something
happy
like
about the fact
this.
that it's not for 10 years that I had to share.
Oh, okay.
So I'll end it with this. You can be here today and be gone tomorrow. Be grateful, be humble, be appreciative, be loving, but most of all, be kind. I'll end with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Mullins. Commissioner Harrington?
I just want to check a date. So we're meeting November 10th at 8 o'clock, a Monday, instead of Tuesday, November 11th?
We're meeting on a Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Our
Monday.
organizational
Okay.
meeting is Monday the
I was
10th.
on a Monday.
Okay,
The org meeting only has to be moved for election years
okay.
because of the
Because of the
certification
election.
problem.
Okay.
Yeah, we
All
have
right,
done that.
just
We have to
wanted
meet anyway, but yeah.
Just wanted to check on that.
But did you say 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
According to the charter.
Yeah, it's in the charter.
It's in
I don't
the
know. It's
charter.
annoying.
I found that out right
Yeah,
away.
let's change the charter. Let's change-
Good luck.
8 o'clock.
Yeah. Once a
It
year,
could
November.
only last 20 minutes, so it might be quick. Yeah.
Wear your pajamas.
Right.
No, other than that, yeah, it's been fun, knowing Holly and listening to her explanations, which I've appreciated, yeah, and I hope to get to know Sadie a little bit better, and Glad to have you. I'm glad somebody crunching the numbers and cares enough to go. I've always gathered from some of this above and beyond, because you cared, and thank you. It's important. The other thing I just wanted to check is that Electric City video, we were all invited to the preview on the 30th? Yes?
Yes. Yeah, we're
Okay,
invited to the 30th.
I was just wondering, I was
Yeah.
looking at my calendar, because I was thinking that kind of sounds fun to see
Sounds
what's
fun,
going to
yeah.
be out there representing our city.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to that. It just seems like there's a lot of stuff going on, October, November, that has nothing to do with the holidays. I mean, just stuff happening, which is good. Keeps me out of trouble. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Oh, and don't forget Saturday, Sturgis Young. Deep Blue something.
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Breakfast, I know I had to play that for my sister. She couldn't, when she heard it, she go, oh, I didn't know that was a name.
Yeah.
Great.
Deep blue what?
Deep Blue something.
Deep
It's
Blue,
the group.
Deep Blue something, I was like, all right.
That's
all
actually
right,
what it's
that's okay,
called,
okay.
yes. They were a 90s, apparently, group. Not my favorite decade for music, but yeah. But I'll be-
90s, I'm
but I'll
thinking
be there.
Vanilla Ice or
Standing tickets.
something like that.
And Sadie, if you'd ever like to volunteer at Sturgis Young, it's always an opening.
That's what Holly did. All right, thank you, Commissioner Harrington. Commissioner Adams?
Again, thank you, Holly, and congratulations. I'm excited for you because especially, nothing less to you, Keith, but the grandchildren, it was going to blast. And you know that, and it just gets better. But I certainly appreciate the loyalty to the city, too. That's something that not everyone has for their family. So. And Commissioner Mullins, I'm 72 and I'm not sharing a thing. Just for the record.
Thank you, Commissioner Adams. Commissioner Bourne?
Holly, it's been nice to get to know you. Very little, but it was nice to hear, because I didn't know some of those things, so it was nice to hear. I won't be able to be here. I'll be out of town next week, but congratulations and wish you well.
You can send a gift or something.
Yeah.
Thank you. Commissioner Wiki?
Just congrats, I'm happy for you. Thank you for all your work. That's it.
All right. Vice Mayor Burke?
The same. Congratulations, retirement, so good deal, especially when you have grandkids. Got plenty of time to spend time with them. You realize that the more you get to spend time with them, the better you like retiring. I met you a long time ago out in the soccer field picking up rocks before the soccer games. And that's how sparse the grass was back then. But you're kind of like an institution around here now. I'm sure everyone will miss seeing your face. And good luck.
Thank you. Yeah, Holly, same. Wish you all the best in retirement. I know both you and Keith have been pillars in our community with your commitment to community. When I think it's fair to say you guys started CISO back in the day, or there was a group of you. I know you guys were heavily involved in that. All the work you do at Holy Angels, it doesn't go unnoticed. All the work that you've done, you've had to put up with some of us, and some of us you probably didn't like, but you did put up. You smiled every time you could, but. It's a blessing to have both you and Keith in the community. I hope you don't leave or move out, but you guys have done a lot for our community. I know it's your day today, so sorry, Keith, but thank you, Holly, for everything that you've done. I had a couple other things.
It was fun when I first started working. You can hear you laugh all day long.
Oh, I was a great HR guy back then, but anyways, kind of had some other. I just went blank, but okay, I think we're done with our commissioner and staff comments, and then we'll planning to go into
I move we
closed
go into
session.
closed session for purpose of the review, periodic review of an employee by request, something, as presented.
Second.
I miss it all.
Roll call.
Commissioner Mullins.
Yes.
Commissioner Boring.
Yes.
Commissioner Wiki.
Yes.
Commissioner Smith.
Yes.
Commissioner Harrington.
Yeah.
Commissioner Abs.
Yes.
Commissioner Miller.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Burr.
Yes.
Mayor Perez.
Yes.
We're in closed session.
Can we take a couple minutes to go to the restroom?
October 31st.